Welcome back, everyone. For today's AI mapping app, I'm going to show you how to create a map that automatically updates its language based on user input. Using Esri Leaflet and the Azure Translate API, we're going to build a simple app that demonstrates how localization can enhance mapping experiences. So let's get started. All right, we'll start by setting up the HTML structure and import the required libraries via CDN. So we're going to add the Leaflet and Esri Leaflet libraries to our project. Now we're going to create a simple structure for our app. So we'll add a div for the controls where the user can input text and trigger the language detection. Now we're going to go on to the CSS. We'll add some basic styling for the controls so they're positioned neatly. All right, now for the JavaScript. First, I'm going to initialize the map using Leaflet. The l.map function will target the map div from our HTML. I'll set the initial view to focus on Athens, Greece, using latitude and longitude coordinates and a zoom level of 14. Now, next, I'm going to use the l.esri.vector.vector basemap layer function from Esri Leaflet to add a vector basemap. The basemap variable will specify the style of the basemap. So here I'm using ArcGIS community style. I'll pass in a token for authentication and set the language to English by default. Then I'll add this layer to the map using .add2map. All right, next I'll create the detect and update function. Now in this function, I'm first going to grab the text that's entered by the user in the input field. And if the input is empty, I'm going to display an alert asking the user to enter some text. Next, I'll send the user input to the Azure Translator API to detect the language. I'm now going to make a post request using the Fetch API. This request will include the user input as the body, along with headers for authentication, such as the Azure Translator subscription key and region. The API is going to respond with a JSON object containing the detected language. If the detection fails, I'll default to English or EN. And finally, I'm going to update the map to display the basemap labels in the detected language. I'll first remove the current basemap layer using map.removeLayer, and then I'm going to create a new vector basemap layer with the detected language and add it back to the map using .add2map. All right, so now that we've built our app, let's go ahead and see this in action. I'll start by typing in a sentence in Greek to test out how the map updates its labels to match the detected language. So I'm going to use a sentence that means, "Hello, how are you today?" I'll click Detect, and as you can see, the map instantly updates the labels to Greek. This is happening because the Azure Translate API correctly identified the input language. Now, next I'm going to try Arabic. So I'll type a sentence, again, that means, "Hello, how are you today?" I'll click Detect, and once again, the map updates, this time with Arabic labels. And that's it. That's all for today's demo. We've built a dynamic map that adapts its language based on user input, providing a straightforward way to implement localization. The code is linked below if you'd like to explore further. Be sure to come back tomorrow for another AI mapping app, and as always, happy coding!